Now I'm a believer of a love that's deeper. Ooh, temperature's evil, so I to deceive you. The love isn't equal. Take the key and lock my heart away. Tie me down, but you're in outer space. Drowning deep under your tidal wave. And nothing I could say to make you stay. Nothing I could say to make you stay. Nothing I could say to make you stay. I'm sicker now that I've seen ya. Every day that I wake up, you pull me in deeper. Ooh, you made me a prisoner, my soul's gatekeeper, just as grim as a reaper. Take the key and lock my heart away. Tie me down, but you're in outer space. Drowning deep under your tidal wave. And nothing I could say to make you stay.
STN Racing proudly presents round one of the eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying iRacing series. It's race number 7, the penultimate round, and we head to one of the smallest trackets on the circuit, the Paperclip, Martinsville Speedway, for tonight's action. These drivers will not only have to put their abilities, but their patience to the test tonight around this tight half-mile oval. Glad to have you along for the ride, everybody. Jacob Hitz, Kevin McAdams here with you for the call. Zach Johnson, our producer for tonight. This is the first time that we have had the same booth back-to-back weeks. Yay us. Kevin, this track is unlike anything we've seen this season. We've been to a few mile and a halves. We went to Talladega, the plate track. We went to Richmond, but it's not quite like Martinsville.
No, it isn't, Jacob. And one thing that I was kind of remarking about it last time we were on the broadcast together was how different this place is to a place like Charlotte. Last week or 2 weeks ago, you really had to have some competition. You kind of had to manage things like dirty air, and you had to manage your track position a lot differently. Here at Martinsville, it's all go for pretty much everybody, unless you're pretty much in on points. There's a lot of guys in this split that are very well in the points. You know, Will Norton is way up there. Blake McCandless is going to be pretty much locked in after his race tonight. But there's a bunch of guys tonight that are not only on the bubble, but on the outside looking in. And I think we're going to see a lot of aggressiveness. And if that actually is the case, we're going to see a lot of cautions, and that's going to make your passing opportunities few and far between. So I think we're going to see a very aggressive race tonight, but we may see some clean racing. You never know.
Let's go through our starting grid. It's Caden Honeycutt in the 6 machine in the Toyota. He starts on the pole. Michael Frisch on his outside. Jose Solis Jr., Garrett Conrath, Ryan Lowe, the top 5. Will Norton starts from the 6th spot. He's 620 points to the good, by the way, from 70th spot. Kyle Peddle, Brandon Hoff, Kevin King, Justin Nazir round out the top 10.
Starting in row 6, Mitchell Hunt will start in 11th. Seth Noel in 12th. Brandon Hawk will roll off 13th. Connor Horn, the number 2 tonight, he will roll off in 14th. Omar Diallo, 15th. Christian Peterson, another guy that's pretty well off in the points. He's in 16th. Matt Furcapa, he will roll off 17th. Lucas Cram, 18th. Brandon Hayes Cattell in the number 33 machine, he will roll off 19th. And PJ Evans will round out our top 20 tonight.
21st is Kenny Brady with Chris Overland to the outside. Timu Toinka and Matthew Lee make up 23rd and 24th. Ben Nelson, Kason Plott, Corey Carpenter, Will Cooley, Christopher Pfeiffer, Eddie Kerner, your top 30. And then the rest, Jacob Harberts, Robbie Vrabel Jr., and Blake McCandless, our very own, starts from the 33rd and last spot. Pace car's already in. It's a quick track. These guys fly right by, and Caden Honeycutt's on the gas. Green flag, round number 7's underway. We got a crash. Trouble in the back already. The 22 of Matthew Lee, 22, Justin Nazir, starting from the 10th spot, loops it in the outside. We're already under caution.
Is that potentially the quickest caution ever? At least maybe an STN Racing coverage history, because they didn't even get the green here, Jacob. I'm trying to see what happened. We'll have to get a replay, but it looks like maybe Justin just got loose. Yeah, it looks like he just lost it on his own. And Matthew Thiele just had nowhere to go and didn't really get any damage, just pretty much stopped. But that's a tough break for Lance Nasir in the 22 here. But that's not a good sign.
And, that thing is all torn up. The back end of the car on the 22 is dinged up because he did back it into the outside wall when he went around. So we go 5 feet and get our first caution flag of the day. Nice job by the 29 of Matthew Lee to avoid T-boning the 22 before they even got the green flag. So that was quick. At least now we can get to anything that we didn't get to in pre-race. Caden Honeycutt obviously still out in front because they didn't make it very far before we had our first caution.
Yeah, Caden's, and I think he's going to be very hopeful that this goes the way it did on lap 1. A lot of cautions is probably what he'd like to be on the forecast. I believe he's 32nd in points. Looking at the standings right now, almost a 1 race lead against 70th. So he's pretty much locked in. But then you got someone like Michael Frisch. I believe he's right on the outside looking in. We'll have to get an update on his points. But hopefully it's just one of those deals, man, where Martinsville is so tough. It's something that we see, 200, 300 lap runs in real life, whether it be late models trucks or the Cup cars. But in the iRacing realm, it's very, very hard not to have a long green flag run. So we'll see how this goes. But the fact we only went about 30 feet is not a good sign for things to come for the rest of the night.
Just a note on points, those are around the bubble that are in this split. You talked about Frisch. He is 65th. He's just 28 points to the good. Robbie Vrabel, remember, he started out back. He is from the 13th spot, and the whole field has to drive around the pace car here. That's what you're seeing. We're not under green. They have to circle around and get behind the pace car. So Robbie Vrabel, 68th in points. He's 13 points to the good. Seth Noel, who's in this split, he is 2 points out in 72nd. Looking through the rest of the grid, Brandon Cattell, he's 53 points out from the 78th spot right now. Coming into tonight, green flags in the air. This is the biggest you-know-what I've ever seen in my life. And how about this? Matthew Lee looks in his mirror. There are the leaders right there on the same straightaway.
I don't think this race has already delivered two things I've never seen before, and that's a first lap caution, but some pretty major error on the restart. It looks like they were a lap behind according to the pace lap, and pretty much everyone had to catch up. We have effectively got the accordion effect on lap one of a restart. 7 laps in, we have 33 trucks around here covering the entire surface, concrete turns and all. And this may be a blessing in disguise for some of these people who are trying to make their way through the field, who maybe didn't have a good qualifying lap, like a Brandon Cattell who's trying to get a good points. He's currently in 19th, now 18th. But this may be a blessing in disguise for these guys to get some laps in.
So Caden Honeycutt is your race leader. Michael Frisch is close. He's about 2 car lengths back from the 6 car. As just looking through the rest of the field, everybody is spread out. This is kind of what we would expect in the middle of a green flag run, not at the very start of one, but that's what we get here on this first official restart of the day. Michael Frisch so far faster than Honeycutt here at the line, about even, both running a 20.1.
Yeah, I'm curious to see as well here, Jacob, who really even set themselves up for the long run. I mean, I didn't really get to participate in many test sessions this year or this week with Dead Zone, but with cautions being a trend here at Martinsville, I wonder if a lot of these guys are set up for the short run. And if we see some of these guys, we know we have a battle right now that's going to be for I think that's the 13th position between Noel and Connor Horn. That's going to be our first battle for position. Going to be really interesting to see who has any type of long run speed. 200 laps tonight, but very short runs are pretty much the commonplace here at Martinsville. So this spread out thing, I've never seen this before, but like I said, it might be a blessing in disguise for these guys.
We'll see how long it takes for somebody to get impatient and to make some contact. Right now, though, everybody has been able to keep it clean other than that first not even first corner, the spin coming to the green flag that brought out that first caution. Other than that, we have been good as far as contact is concerned, as now the first lapper, Matthew Lee, officially gets lapped by the leaders, and Frisch will get by as well here.
And it's a tough break for Matthew Lee. Had to slow up for that wreck with Nasir, just had nowhere to go, and unfortunately was about a second behind, or at least a second ahead of our leader, Caden Honeycutt, and it looks like right now he just doesn't have the pace these leaders are. Ran a 21:07 getting past. We'll see what happens on this lap. Comparing lap times, he was a 20.36, about a tenth and a half off, so only had about 8 or 9 laps before the inevitable happened, and now he's just begging for a caution to be thrown right away, because if this pace continues, there's about a 5 or 6 truck gaggle out of turn 4 that these leaders are going to be catching very soon, and that could spell a lot of trouble for these guys in the back in terms of trying to race their way to the front. They're going to be pretty much a lap down from the get-go, and that's going to be hard to recover with how many trucks could potentially be a lap down.
Blake McCandless back here in that, looking to the inside of Jacob Harberts. Harberts on the outside looking in points. Taking a quick peek, Harberts sits in the 91st position, 139 points back. He needs some help. He needs good finishes tonight and 2 weeks from now at Dover as he makes contact with Robbie Vrabel coming off of turn 2. They're able to keep it going, just trying to hang on to the race car. And then you've got Justin Nasir at the back of this train that Honeycutt is slowly reeling in on.
Yeah, you got Nasir, Vrabel. He's another guy that's right there on the bubble in terms of points. I believe he's a little bit to the good. Blake McCandless, he's pretty much locked in. He's just chilling. Chris Pfeiffer and Kason Plott, he's 37th in points. So a lot of different agendas, I believe, for this back half of the field. Some of these guys are definitely in a state of urgency, but the rest of them are just kind of logging laps, trying to get points, trying to maybe collect the scraps per se. If this race gets a little bit nasty, maybe get a nice top 15 just hanging in the back. But the one thing that's for sure is that number 6 machine is getting smaller or getting larger and larger in their mirror lap after lap after lap, and they're going to be a little bit more panicky here as the laps roll on here at Martinsville.
How about the battle for 21st? I've seen Chris Overland try the bump and run on the truck in front of him of PJ Evans, not once but twice now. He hasn't been able to seal the deal yet. He's going to look to the inside again in turn 1. Can't quite there. Now there's a little bit of a hole, and he will kick the door down and be side-by-side on corner exit. Timu Toika right behind him in the 30.
Oh, we have trouble in turn 1. That might be a caution. It is. Robbie Vrabel Jr. gets sent around in turn 1. Sorry there, Jacob.
All good. Robbie Vrabel Jr., we just talked about him in that lap traffic right in front of the race leader. And we're under the second caution flag of the night. And this one again involving the 22. Here's the replay. Doink. Nasir just sent it in a bit too hot there, Kevin.
Yeah, I've raced Lance for a long time. He's notoriously pretty clean. Maybe he's just a little bit upset with himself, trying to be a little bit more aggressive here, trying to make up for what he did earlier. But that's a tough break for Vrabel. That's going to put him a lap down. And I believe, since he was involved in that incident, he's not going to be eligible for any type of lucky dog. It looks like Matthew Lee will be the recipient of that. So tough break for the number 26 machine. He's got a long ways to go, over 170 laps to go here at Martinsville. But that's not a good way to start. We got a couple people coming in for pit stops. It looks like they only have just a handful of tires tonight, 5 sets in the pit, so they have enough to have some strategy. But see who comes in.
Same number of tires in the pits tonight as there are at all the Road to Pro races that we've had so far. Ryan Lowe is in. That's Christian Peterson you saw there. He's on pit road. Brandon Cattell, PJ Evans, Chris Overland, Ben Nelson, Corey Carpenter, Blake McCandless came in. Just a 9-second stop for him. Corey Carpenter came in as well. Vrabel, the only truck 1 lap down at this point, and 24 cars have yet to pit. Vrabel, as we talked about when we were under green, he's just 13 points to the good. He has yet to score a top 5 this season. He needs help. He needs it now, and that's not a good way to start. He's now fallen 2 laps down. No, he hasn't. I'm wrong. I thought he did from sitting on pit road, but he will shortly here if he stays on there for too long. Now he's down and away.
Jacob, we kind of talked about it a little bit briefly at Charlotte. These 2 weeks are almost wild card races for these guys, almost as much of a wild card race as a Talladega would be. You can be in the top 5 here at the end of the event, and, someone's aggressive knowing that, that they go 1 spot up. It's maybe a 10 to 12 point swing. That could be very well the difference in the championship to get into that top 70. You may get sent around on the final last few laps, and you can go from 5th to 20th real quick. So, these guys got to be patient, but at the same time, you got to get what's available when these restarts come in. And I'm a little bit worried now that we've, got back to almost a pack style restart. We'll have that breed caution type of deal here.
Well, and we know the mistakes can happen, especially late in the race. when you're worn out. Wheel hopping can happen, getting down into the corners under braking. Car steps out, and if you're on the inside of somebody, you're in trouble. So these guys are going to put it all on the line here at the end, especially if we do get another caution. And all it takes is one mistake to completely upheaval everything else that's going on. One lap to green, and we're not going to fly by the pace car this time around. We've got this one organized at least a little bit more than the last one. Caden Honeycutt, Michael Frisch on the front row, Jose Solis Jr., Garrett Conrath, Will Norton, your top 5 as they head down the backstretch.
6th through 10th looks like it's going to be Hoff, Peddle, King, Hunt, and Hawk. Notable, a couple guys who have made their way through the field up 6 spots. Up 10 spots is Will Cooley. He's up from 28th to 18th. Pace truck is off. Green flag is out, and Caden Honeycutt gets a great restart, and he maintains that lead he already kept over Frisch. And they're already making contact into turn 1. Looks like that was Garrett Conrath getting into the back. I believe that was the number 7 truck ahead of him. That was Jose Solis Jr.
Solis Jr.
But they keep it together right now. That outside line is not where you want to be, and Frisch is the victim of that at this moment.
Yeah, now that they're all crunched together on this restart, things can get a bit chaotic, and you saw it right there with Garrett Conrath stopping on the brakes and turning right to avoid plowing into the back of the Fortnite machine. Trouble, turn 1. Caution's out. It is, if I can get back far enough, Brandon Cattell and Chris Overland. Overland in the wall with damage. Damage to the left side of Cattell's car, and the caution's out for the 3rd time tonight.
Teammates involved in this one, Cattell and Overland, notorious former slip ankle teammates. Now they form their own little crew, and they're trying to make their way back into the Pro Series, and it looks like Cattell
nothing of their own doing here.
Yeah, PJ Evans just locks it up. That's something that you can really do. You just mentioned it. You can easily lock up your tires here at Martinsville, and he did just that going into turn 1. And I'm a little worried, like I said, once that caution came out, this could happen for lap after lap after lap. Hopefully not, but that's a tough break for Cattell and Overland. They both need to have a good night tonight.
Fair amount of damage to the front of Overland's car. It didn't hit him all that hard, but just enough to cause a good bit of damage to the front end of that car. And while aerodynamics maybe not be that important here, it's still important enough. Cattell and Overland come onto pit road, as does McCandless. Pfeiffer is on pit road as well, looking through the rest of the grid. Doesn't look like anybody else is coming in this time around. 3rd caution flag of the afternoon. We are a mere 30 laps into the 200-mile race that we've got going on tonight, and we're averaging about a caution every 10 laps.
Sounds about right. That's something I was expecting tonight. I was talking to Zach, our producer. I was a little bit apprehensive of that 11 p.m. alarm clock that you mentioned earlier. But, things can change rather quickly here at Martinsville. And, I wonder if these drivers are realizing maybe being a little bit patient here for the first 100 laps or so is what's best for the not only themselves, but for the rest of the field. And we'll just have to play the waiting game here as we're lapping lap 30. That's okay for right now.
Robbie Variable did get the free pass, so he will get back on the lead lap. Here in this one. This caution saved Michael Frisch, though. He's going to hang on to the 2nd spot. Drops Jose Solis Jr. back to 3rd. Will Norton taking the 4th spot away from Garrett Conrath. Then behind him, it's Brandon Hoff, Kyle Peddle, Kevin King, Mitchell Hunt, and Omar Diallo. That is your top 10 right now, and the pace lights are still on the pace car. It feels like cautions take an eternity here at Martinsville.
As Jordan would say, not so quick yellows here at Martinsville Raceway. Or Martinsville Speedway. We'll definitely be taking advantage of those side-by-sides later as Zach will throw those up. But at the moment, Caden Honeycutt is the Pied Piper of the field so far. Let it every single lap. Frisch give him a little bit of a run for his money as he approached lap traffic, but we'll just have to see. I'm really curious to see how this Highline will do once again. Frisch almost was shot from 2nd. He could have easily gone outside the top 5 if things stayed the way they are. So he definitely caught a big break here. Will Cooley trying to take advantage of that. But they are going to be side by side here, so 1 to go this time by.
What did I say at the end of last week's broadcast? Get every side-by-side that we can to air for this race because we knew we were going to have a lot of cautions. Well, I'm not wrong yet. Let's see if we can get a lone green flag run in here as Honeycutt's already on the gas and the green flag's back in the air. We're back underway here at Martinsville.
Caden Honeycutt once again gets a fantastic launch out of turn 4. And once again, Frisch going to be stuck on that outside line. Will Cooley looking to take advantage. I'm sorry, that's Jose Solis Jr. on the inside. He's looking to take advantage of that. They single file out. They're going to be single file throughout the top 5. Oh, the number, that's Brandon Hoff trying to launch it in there in the 3 truck. Try to get underneath Garrett Conrad. Then we have a caution yet again in the back of the field.
It's Kason Plott that slams the outside wall in turn 3. Also looks like PJ Evans involved in this one, and he was, as well as the 25 of Jacob Harberts. Remember, he is very far out in points. This is not what he needs, and that truck is demolished. Here's the replay.
It's a little ironic.
Oh, wow. Harberts just sent it in there.
PJ Evans almost did the same thing, but Harberts got there first. I don't know what both those trucks were doing, but they completely overshot the corner. Like they were not making that corner.
Yep. At least Evans was up on the outside, wouldn't have had direct contact with the 17, but Harberts just got on the brakes late, and then he got sent by the 10. Benjamin Nelson, he got in the back of Harberts and pushed him up out of the way. Only a 3-car crash, but Evans took a hard hit to the outside wall, killed his truck. He had to tow it, and Harberts has all 4 corners on that 25 truck all tore up as well.
Some drivers in the chat already showing their displeasure. Some drivers in the chat a little bit thankful that we're having these cautions. Eddie Kerner saying, keep on wrecking, boys. I need this race to keep on being under caution so we can maintain that track position. So a lot of people are happy. Obviously, a lot of people are upset as Harberts and company all come into the pits to take service and get that damage fixed. Overland is in the pits. Cattell is in the pits looking to continue to fix their trucks from the prior yellow. But under caution once again here at Martinsville.
Certainly not what they wanted to see out of the Jacob Harberts camp. Again, he is right now on the outside looking in. If I can find him here quickly in points. Let's see. There he is, Harberts. 91st in points, 139 points out. He needs a lot of help now at this point, and probably a win 2 weeks from now at Dover in order to move on. Otherwise, his road to pro may be over.
Lights are already off here on the pace car. A little bit quicker yellow this time around.
Well, it helps because there weren't any lappers this time around.
That's very true.
We had the lapper before. PJ Evans has parked the truck. He's done for the night. Kason Plott is a lap down, so we will have a longer caution if we get one here shortly. Green flag, and caught Frisch sleeping there on the restart did Honeycutt.
Yeah, Michael Frisch is going to have to find something. He's going to maybe have to just get himself back on that inside line in some way, somehow. Here comes the number 7 truck of Jose Solis Jr. He's going to be underneath. He has the momentum. And he has the edge going into turn 3. Garrett Conrad looking to follow suit as well if he can get around that number 24 truck of Michael Frisch. People are warping all over the place on my screen. I think it's just Caden. So he's got some technical issues. Hopefully it doesn't warp across the line. I've had that happen to me. It's not fun having to make up a lap doing that. But it looks like Jose Solis has the advantage out of turn 2.
Yeah, and that's going to allow Conrath to sneak in on the inside as well. Conrath is on the outside looking in points. He's on the inside right here trying to take the 3rd spot away from Michael Frisch. He almost had enough room there for Frisch to drop in, but Conrath going to keep up the fight on the bottom.
Track position important. Lane choice, not a decision you can make here in the Road to Pro qualifying series. And unfortunately, Michael Frisch is paying for it right now. He is now falling back now to 4th. As Garrett Conrad gets underneath.
Let's go back to Omar Diallo with a battle here with the 15 of that's Mitchell Hunt. They are almost wrecking each other back here for the 9th spot. So they've made contact a couple of times, and they've got everybody bottled up behind as Hunt sends it in on the inside. Diallo drove him all the way down to the pit entrance in turn 3 a lap ago, and Mitchell Hunt still threw it in there on the inside.
Oh, Mitchell throws it in again right underneath Diallo. There's a big gaggle behind them as well. So a lot of battles for position here around and outside the top 10. Looks like Diallo's going to hang on to it for now. Here comes Hunt once again, tries to throw it in. Locks the left front up a little bit. Going to focus back here a little bit further. First battle now will be between Timu Toika and Seth Noel. And Timu gets a really good run off the corner, and that's going to solidify that 13th spot for him.
Yeah, Mitchell Hunt, while he was battling Diallo, had Connor Horn bouncing off the back bumper as well. So they're all lucky to get away alive out of that right now. Going back a little further, I saw Eddie Kerner get a little sideways in the 20 truck. He's just on the outside trying to hang on for dear life as we are already 44 laps complete here at Martinsville. It feels like it's been eternity, but it also feels like it's just flown right on by.
About 30 minutes into our coverage, and we're only 45 laps in. I'll take it. As Eddie Kerner's still trying to fight on that outside line behind him, you got Ryan Lowe, former Coke Series driver, also on the outside. He's trying to get back down. Underneath him, that's going to be the number 12 machine. That's Kenny Brady. And he's had a few run-ins with some of these guys in other events, so he's just trying to race clean at the moment. And behind him, here comes Christian Peterson. He's looking to follow suit as well. So I hate to say it, this is a one-lane track here at Martinsville, and it's not really going to get any better for these guys. So the bottom is going to be king all night long, and you're going to want to get there as soon as possible, especially on these restarts.
And you get stuck on the high side, you're going to be up there until you find a spot. It could be in 5th, it could be in 35th, or 25th, since there aren't 35 trucks here, where you're able to fit in line and get to the bottom. As everybody, for the most part, has gotten single file trouble. Chris Overland saved it on the front straightaway. I think he got punted down the front straightaway. I have to go back and look at a replay. I just heard him come over the radio and saw him almost spin out, and he did. Got up in front of Ben Nelson, able to hang on to the truck, though. It's going to lose a couple of spots, and a bad night gone worse for Chris Overland. The bright side for Overland is the fact that Overland right now in points sits in the 24th position, 353 points to the good. So it's not like he's in desperation mode to try and make the next round, but certainly not ideal to be back in the 29th position at this point this early on.
Single file pretty much throughout this entire pack, and unfortunately the first battle for position might end up here, hopefully not in the yellow, but these guys are side by side. Nasir and Matthew T. Lee, victims of our first yellow. They're going to be battling right now for the coveted 26th position. Looks like Nasir's going to get that, but yeah, I mean, tough break for Chris. Just kind of pulled up in front of I believe that was Ben Nelson, like you mentioned, but I don't want to jinx it here, Jacob. I know we have the broadcaster's curse. 9 times out of 10 we say something and the worst thing possible happens afterwards. It's almost worse than Murphy's Law here, but we're getting some green flag runs here.
Well, and right now everybody, I think, has just kind of mutually agreed that, all right, we're not going to race side by side as much unless we think we're 15 mile an hour faster. Here comes the 20 of Kerner underneath Seth Noel. This is for 15th with Christian Peterson right behind. First battle on the track.
See how far back Seth goes. He's going to have to find a way back down to the bottom. Right now there's about 4 or 5 trucks behind him in the immediate path. Here comes Peterson underneath. Kenny Brady, if he's smart, he slows down right now to get underneath, and he does not. Oh, I'm a little bit behind. I'm sorry. He's right now next to Kenny Brady. He had an opportunity on the backstretch to get underneath or get behind Christian Peterson. He's going to pay
got
for
it there.
Yeah, he's going to have to do it. Yeah, that's exactly what you have to do here at Martinsville, and it looks like it's going to pay off for him, and that's not going to work out for Ryan Lowe. He's going to be on the outside now.
Thought there was a battle for the lead. Now it's Caden Honeycutt blinking in and out. We're all good. It's still a half a second battle there. But right now, Seth Noel is making some contact. Got one in the wall. Ryan Lowe here got put in the wall by Corey Carpenter. As this battle continues to heat up, and the 31 of Seth Noel almost got turned. The 16 got sideways of Chris Pfeiffer. He hangs on. Everybody's good, and Seth Noel just got punted. Turn 1 in the wall, and caution.
Oh, he got stuck in the wall there. That's a shame.
Yep, sticky wall, and Seth Noel going to have to tow. His day most likely done because he just got sent by Ryan Lowe going into turn 1, and the caution's out for the 4th time tonight. I think the 4th time. I've already lost count.
I think you're right. A little bit of a heated exchange between Ryan Lowe and Corey Carpenter on the track, but in the chat. That's a tough break, man. That was a hard hit for Ryan, but or for Seth Noel. But I think that's it for him for sure.
Yeah, here's the first contact here. It was the 31, Corey Carpenter, making contact, then with the 28, putting him up in the wall. Pits are open and everybody's coming. for the most part. And there you see, gets a little sideways, 4 gets underneath, 28 gets a great launch off the corner, and the 28 just pushes, and there goes the 31. Bump and run, see you later.
Pit stops, a lot of pit stops.
Yeah, we do have 3 stay out, though. Cattell, Matthew Lee, Chris Overland. They stay out on old tires and will be the race leader. Will be the top 3, and it looks like Jose Solis Jr. will not win the race off pit road. It's Honeycutt, Jose Solis Jr., Conrath, Hoff, and Frisch, your top 5. We're going to go side by side here from Martinsville as we are more than 50 laps through, more than a quarter way through this race for the first round of the eNASCAR Auto Pro Qualifying iRacing Series from Martinsville. Brandon Cattell, currently your leader. We're back after this. Just how we planned it. Brandon Cattell, Matthew Lee lead us back down to the restart. Green flag, we're underway. The top 3 on old tires, everybody else on new tires. Jose Solis Jr. spun those new tires, getting on the front straightaway, getting on the gas. But here we go.
Potential calamity as they go out of turn 2. Caden Honeycutt getting underneath Matthew Lee. Next potential victims there are going to be the teammates of Cattell and Overland. Overland going to be playing a little bit of defense, I assume, for his teammate, trying to get him in the top 78 points.
Front straightaway, the 12 around. Kenny Brady. Brady got turned around. He piles in the 10 of Ben Nelson, and the caution flag is out. Brady pinched somebody on the outside there coming off of turn number 4. It was the 32, it looks like, of Matt Forkapa, and they made contact once, twice, and the 12 could not hang on back across the track. Looks like Chris Pfeiffer also got a piece. Here's the replay.
What's that old saying that Larry McReynolds says? This place is plenty wide enough for 3 wide, but you really don't want to do it, especially here on the exit of the corners. That's just not something you want to do, especially this early in the race. That's a tough break for a lot of these guys that got involved.
Yeah, here's where it all started. They're already 3 wide with that 32 of Forkapa up on the high side. Inside line gets stacked up. Here comes the 12 up the middle, and just not enough room. In fact, I'm not even sure that the 4 of Corey Carpenter on the inside there knew that they were 3 wide.
Yeah, especially with these short tracks, a lot of things happen really fast. And, unless you have a spotter on the outside watching for you, if you rely on that iRacing spotter, there's just no way that'll tell you what's what. So I don't know for sure if he does or not, but regardless, that's a really tough situation to be put in for these guys in the back. And one thing's for sure, and these guys up front, they're loving that. They want these cautions to keep on happening so they can kind of get cycled back here.
Well, everybody that did not pit. Cattell, Overland, and Lee, they continue to stay out here. We did have some other takers come on to pit road. Guys like Jacob Harberts, Case and Plot, Kenny Brady, Ryan Loeb, Ben Nelson obviously is on pit road. Seth Noel is still on the racetrack. He's 3 laps down. I'm impressed that he's still on the racetrack after getting wedged in the outside wall, but he's still chirping through this.
Well, thankfully here at Martinsville, we don't have to worry about aerodynamics that much. And most of the damage was on the back end of the car, a little bit of damage on that right front, but I think he'll be okay. He may not be, race-winning material at this point, but I believe, things can get pretty chaotic for him later in this field. He may be able to pull off somewhat of a miracle, but he's got a long way to go for a lot of these guys in the back. Ben Nelson was involved in that wreck prior. He's in the back now. Kenny Brady obviously was involved. Case and Plot, he got the lucky dog last time by. He's in 28th. He's back on the pits. So a lot of tough breaks for these guys early, but we've still got 132 laps to go here at Martinsville.
Ben Nelson 1 lap down, Noel 3 laps down. Everybody else is either on the lead lap or out of the race. PJ Evans in the 33rd spot. He is the only man to retire from tonight's event. Lights are off on the pace car. We'll get the green flag this time by.
Telling Overland once again on a little bit of an off-sequence strategy involved in an early incident, and they're trying to recover with this call. At the moment, Matthew T. Lee down 2 spots from that strategy. Started 3rd last time by. He will be rolling off 5th. You got Caden Honeycutt, Garrett Conrath 3rd and 4th, and Jose Solis Jr., Michael Frisch. Frisch finally on that inside line. He may want to take advantage of that and get on this inside.
See what happens. Everybody starting up in the marbles. Cattell kind of giving Honeycutt an opening. Now they're on the gas pretty late in the restart zone, but we're back underway here at Martinsville. Overland to the inside, and here comes Honeycutt to save the day. Superman in the 6th takes 2nd.
Overland tried to get right behind his teammate and get that inside line secured, but he's not going to be able to do it. Here comes Honeycutt. And now Honeycutt may be looking up the outside. He's going to get that run, get a little bit of a diamond line out of the corner. Cattell gets loose on those older tires. Here comes Honeycutt on the inside.
For the lead, 3 wide further back. Matthew Lee gets into the 7.
Oh,
we
there
got
we go.
Omar Diallo around. He gets run into by everybody, it seems like. Let's see, Brandon Hawk in the 21. He made contact there with the 17. They just all stacked up. They got 3 wide, and then Diallo got turned around right behind him. Matthew Lee was part of that. Stuck in the middle, 3 wide. Jose Solis Jr. almost got turned, and then it was the 3. Brandon Hoff that just drove it in there up on the curb. Not enough room to make it in there.
Tough break as well for that number 24 truck. He just had nowhere to go as Yellow gets spun. Had to slow up for that. Almost got into the side of Hoff. Had to slow up and lost a ton of position. Was just talking about how he finally got that inside line. Must have got relegated back to the outside because he had nowhere to go, and he's going to fall back to 9th. But that's a tough break for these guys, especially Diallo. He's been up front pretty much the entire race so far. And we tried to talk about patience, and it just seems like these guys do not have it at all tonight.
And Diallo has been fairly consistent all season long in the races that he has been in the second split. But an incident here that's certainly going to hurt him. Looking in points, I do not see his name. He is in 95th, 150 points out. He's only made 4 starts, though. He has not made, or 5 starts counting tonight. He has not made every attempt. If he did, really, I think he'd be in.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I don't know why, maybe just, not available to run all the races, but he's definitely got the pace to, especially the average, to be up there in the running. That's going to be a break for whoever ends up 70th. They would have been on the outside looking in, so they're going to have to give Omar a nice thank you card in the mail once they get into this top 70. But one person that's just, like I said, these 2 up front, Cattell and Overland, they're hoping that we get some kind of green flag run without losing a ton of positions. If they can get to lap 100 and they can get in and get some tires, I believe they'll be in a good spot. to get this cycled out pretty well. They were around outside the top 25, and right now they're second and third. I don't think they're going to be complaining right now.
Just looking at points, the highest driver that has not made all the starts thus far, Matt Forkapa, in 87th, 117 points out. He only missed one race. Same with E.J. Rourke right behind him. Rourke 121 points out, and he has a win in 2 top 5s. And he's still on the outside looking in. Then there's Diallo and Hocevar, 95th and 97th respectively, who have only made 4 starts. Other than that, pretty much everybody else that is in the hunt has made 6 starts, excluding tonight.
I guess I have a question. I don't know if you can answer this for me, Jacob. Is this including the drop? Is this including the drop that they're going to get?
This is not including the drop. I forgot about the drop, to be completely honest. We can talk about the Road to Pro ladder here, where things sit, as we're half a lap to green, of course. What a great time to talk about it. But right now we are in the qualifying round of the Road to Pro, or the eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying iRacing series. At the end of the season, the top 70, top 20, were in the first round of the qualifying series. The second round kicks off at the start of July. As green flag's back in the air, and the third, Cattell did not get a good restart. Got a little.
We'll talk about this
Conrath. Yeah, we'll get to it under the next caution, which I'm sure won't be very long, as the field makes their way through turn 2. You got Conrath on the outside of Overland. Overland trying to do everything he can down low to make Conrath's life miserable.
As expected, Caden Honeycutt gets a great restart and a great interval already on second place. Brandon Cattell, Garrett Conrath trying to get around Chris Overland in those old tires, about 40 laps older than the rest of our leaders. He tried to go on that outside line, didn't work. Now one back to the inside. Let's see if he does a quick dive bomb attempt. Not going to do it yet. Behind that, here comes Brandon Hoff. He threw it in underneath Jose Solis Jr. Now he's been relegated to the outside. Also, Matthew T. Lee in the middle of this gaggle. He's slowing up this inside line, making that outside line have a little bit more competitive. Here comes Willem Norton on that outside. They're big pack here out of turn 2.
Conrath looks to the inside of Overland. Overland closes the door, but you're right. It's Matthew Lee holding up the party. Remember, he is on the oldest tires. They're 35-lap-old tires, older than everybody else's right now. And this is where we saw the last crash happen. Fresh.
Here we go. They're wrecking out of turn 2.
Overland. Overland and Conrath. Everybody else keeps it clean, but it's Garrison. Heck, I'll get his name right eventually. Garrett Conrath and Chris Overland, who are involved in this. They were battling for the third spot, and they take themselves out here on lap 79. Oh, Overland just got loose, trying to keep it off the 33. And, Conrath is the unluckiest man in the world. Here is the replay. You're going to see the 18 send it in, gets loose, trying to keep it off the 33. Gets sideways, the 13 hits him, because where is he going to go? 18 gets completely sideways, 13 makes contact there, and then gets tapped in the rear, picks the rear tires off the ground, and spins it around on the bottom. But he's able to keep the car from getting into oncoming traffic, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I was getting a little bit of Ryan Sieg throwback or flashback vibes right there with Garrett Conrath being turned back into the field. That could have easily been, and I thought it was going to be at least a 6 to 8 truck
parking lot.
track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it here the last few years here at Martinsville. It can get pretty nasty pretty quick here in these really narrow straightaways. So I would say, lost the battle there between Overland and Conrath, but Conrath will live to fight another day here tonight. He could have very easily lost his truck to that incident. He could have very easily be outside the top 30 for the rest of the night.
But Cattell staying in that second spot as Overland apologizes over the radio to Conrath. We'll go back to the ladder here and try and explain this the right way. So we are in the first round of the Road to Pro qualifying series. We take the top 70 from the first round and go to the second round. You'll see the second round starting in July. Still with the trucks, 8 more races at different racetracks. At the end of that, the top 20 move on to the eNASCAR Road to Pro Contender iRacing series using the Xfinity cars. This combines the top 20 from the qualifying series and the bottom 20 from the Coke series. At the end of that season, the top 20 from the Contender Series will move on to the big show, the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series, with the top 20 from this current year's eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. And then at the end of the season, the bottom 20 goes into the Contender Series, and so on and so forth. But this is set up in a way to get new faces in and cause some drama later on down the line. And right now, points aren't that big of an issue because of how many people there are. Looking at the points, let me scroll all the way to the bottom. We've got more than 1,000 people that have made an attempt in at least one race. The list is 1,729 people have made at least one start. So there have been a lot of people that have done this, taking 1,700 and cramming it down into 70. It's difficult. It's chaotic, especially when you have multiple splits. I believe we only have 10 splits tonight. We had more than 30. I think it was close to 50, actually, at the opening race back in March. So it can be a bit chaotic. But when we get to the second round, that's when it's going to get interesting because it's down to 70 folks, not 1,700 as green flag's back in the air. Caution.
And caution's out.
Yep, Garrett Conrath is in the wall with the 17 in turn 4. Garrett Conrath, oh boy. So Conrath in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's contact between Case and Plott and Ryan Lowe. And it's just the 17 got hit, and then the Case and Plott got hit, and then here comes Conrath with nowhere to go. He was lined up right behind him. And for the second time tonight, we have a crash before we even get to the start-finish line.
A little bit puzzled why that was a yellow. Normally, you got to go all the way around. I guess maybe it's a little bit more sensitive here at Martinsville, but that's two cautions that we've had before the leaders pretty much got into the line. But to go back to what you were talking about, Jacob, the one thing I did like, I ran a couple races for Road to Pro, just didn't have a lot of good luck being in the lower splits and just not, having the good enough finishes. But that does allow, we're going to see a lot of new faces once the second round starts. We're going to see people that are in the, those third, fourth, and fifth splits finally have a shot to, show what they've got against some of these first and second split guys. I think it's going to be a really fun format. I think it's more fair than it's ever been. Some people don't have that ability to do that rise and grind, get up to the 6-7K. Some guys in the 5K range can really show their speed now and maybe get themselves into the Pro Series.
Have to wait and see, of course. First split, top split, will be on Podium Esports. Second split, we don't know where it's going to be yet. For the second round of the eNASCAR to Pro Qualifying iRacing Series, we'll have that figured out. You'll know where we're at. In the meantime, I lied. It's only 7 races in that second round. I thought it was 8, but nonetheless, there's still a lot of different racetracks on that schedule. We start at Knoxville, Watkins Glen is on that list, Rockingham, and then of course we end with Bristol and Phoenix. So you certainly get a lot of short track beating and banging action on this schedule.
Almost like they're doing this on purpose for these guys. a lot of headaches going into that final round. I'm really excited for Knoxville. I'm also curious to see how they're going to manage the points with that. Obviously, it's a little bit different if there's heat raced format. We'll have to see how that pans out. But I'm really excited to whether I'm doing this or I'm just watching on the outside looking in. I'm really excited to watch that series. Whether it's the first or second split, I'm really excited to watch these guys duke it out.
The only thing that disappoints me is the fact that there was no plate race in the second round of this series. I was hoping that they would get Daytona in there somewhere. Instead, we get Texas and Homestead, which Homestead I'm all right with. Texas can sometimes produce some lackluster racing, especially with the repave.
Is this is just a question, maybe just personal opinion. Is it the worst mile and a half on the planet to you, Jacob? The new repave?
Let's see what happens with Atlanta. Whatever they do when they repave it, let's see how bad they screw up Atlanta, and we'll go from there. Bobby cuts on the gas rather. Green flag.
Green flag out once again, and more dive bomb attempts here at the front. Brandon Cattell having to play the most epic defense he's had to do all night. Had to block that number 3 truck from advancing. He's still trying to maintain that second place position, and he's holding up this entire pack. Here comes the outside line with Connor Horn trying to make that outside work. He's going for 3rd, and behind him, here comes Kevin King looking for 4th.
And we've seen Brandon Hoff send it in already up the inside, so wouldn't be surprised to see him do it again in that 3 Valvoline Chevrolet as the field makes their way down the backstretch into turn number 3. Everybody single file till you get to about the 10th spot with Teemu Toika, Matthew Lee side by side. Right behind them, Christian Peterson and Kyle Peddle side by side as well. They're able to straighten it out though. But Brandon Hoff still applying the pressure to the back of the 33. Here he goes to the inside.
What a reference. Here comes Hoff, as you mentioned, to that inside line. Already almost a second behind our leader, Caden Honeycutt. So Cattell really holding this pack up. He's looking to do a little bit of a crossover, maybe at the same time try to hold back that number 2 truck of Connor Horn. But we'll see how fast that number 3 truck can get out of this pack. Brandon Cattell really holding this pack up. 20.457 last time by. 19.993 for our leader, Caden Honeycutt. So these guys behind Cattell are going to want to get around him quick and swiftly if they want to maintain this lead pace.
Brandon Cattell has the fence post out chanting defense. I'm sure of it at this point. As here comes Connor Horn to the inside. Cattell slams the door and right now just trying to barricade himself in that 3rd spot, but here comes everybody else because it is accordion back behind him. Horn to the inside. Here comes Kevin King to the inside. That's going to open the door potentially here for Jose Solis Jr., Will Norton, and pretty much the rest of the field. So this may be over for Brandon Cattell, but still a long time he spent up at the front of the field. He's able to slice in here in front of Jose Solis Jr. So we'll hang on to the top 5 for now as Will Norton gets stacked up, and here comes Michael Frisch to the inside, almost contact there.
Michael Frisch looking to take advantage of that mistake from Will Norton. Gets underneath. That'll be for, like you said, the 7th position. In front of them, here comes Solis Jr. underneath Cattell. He's trying to just maintain any track position he can. At this point for him, it's still a net gain, but he's going to want to make sure that he stays inside this top 10. Made that highline work pretty well outside of turn 2. But this is going to once again stack this field up. Here comes Frisch. He got underneath the number 1 truck. Here comes the number 19 as well of Mitchell Hunt.
Oh, and Matthew Lee got super sideways there off turn 4 in front of Christian Peterson. He was able to hang on, but he's going to go way up the track in turn 1. Overheated the tires. So here comes Frisch underneath the 33. And the 19 looking as well, and Mitchell Hunt.
Side-by-side battles all over this track. Cattell still relegated to that outside line. He's going to try and get back down in front of Mitchell Hunt. He does just that, playing that defensive role. Here comes Hunt making that outside line potentially work. And underneath that, here comes the number 8. That's Christian Peterson. He gets a great run underneath the number 1 of Will Norton. He's going to try to get a 2 for here, get underneath Hunt as well.
Buy one, get one free. That's pretty much what happened there. As here comes Will Norton now, looking underneath the 19, but the 19 tries to send it back underneath Peterson. Hunt cannot make it happen. And Brandon Cattell going to hang on to the 7th spot for the time being as they stacked up a little bit, and Matthew Forkapa is going to lose at least 2 spots, maybe 3. Trouble, 14 around, turn 4, caution. Lucas Cram is the caution flag as we are 1 lap away from halfway. He got punted by Garrett Conrath to bring out, what is this, caution number 6?
Caution number a lot.
Caution number too many. But involved that 14 there, Lucas Cram, his first incident of the night. As you see, here they are down the front straightaway. It's going to involve the 13 of Garrett Conrath, who was up at the front early, got in that crash with Chris Overland, and has struggled to rebound, and just sends it in a little bit too much, gives the 14 a tap, then around he goes, and Overland barely makes it by on the outside.
Obviously, the track position lost for that number for Cram there, but he's very fortunate. No one hit him. Couple pit stops here happening. As I expected, here comes Cattell, Matthew T. Lee. I think that was a net gain for them. Here comes Mitchell Hunt. He was pitting from the 9th position. A couple other stragglers from behind. Will Cooley is in. Corey Carpenter, Conrath, the recipient of our last yellow He's in as well. A couple other guys in the back will also be coming in for service.
As we cross the halfway point of tonight's race, it's time to bring you the iRacing Midway Race Break, brought to you by iRacing. iRacing, the world's premier online racing game. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat to experience today's newest form of competitive motorsport, virtual racing, all from your home PC. Race virtually in Australian supercars, IndyCar, IMSA, NASCAR, the World of Outlaws, and more. Caden Honeycutt is the leader. He's led the most laps so far tonight. Brandon Hoff in the second spot, Connor Horn in third, Kevin King fourth. Jose Solis Jr. rounds out the top 5. Then it's Michael Frisch, Christian Peterson, Will Norton, Timu Toyka, and Kyle Peddle, the top 10.
Rolling off in 11th as of the halfway break. Eddie Kerner in 11th. Omar Diallo in 12th. Matt Forcapa will be in 13th. Ryan Lowe recovering nicely. He's now up to 14th. Same with Chris Overland. He's now back into the top 15. He'll be in 15th. Blake McCandless, 16th. Brandon Hawk in 17th, Robbie Vrabel 18th, Lucas Cram 19th, and Mitchell Hunt will round out our top 20 as he just pitted.
Matthew Lee 21st, Will Cooley 22nd, Garrett Conrath 23rd, Justin Nasir 24th, Brandon Cattell back in the 25th spot now, Kason Plott 26th, Jacob Harberts 27th, Christopher Pfeiffer 28th, Corey Carpenter 29th, Kenny Brady rounds out the top 30, Seth Noel in 31st, 1 lap down, Ben Nelson 3 laps down in 32nd, and PJ Evans out of the race in the 33rd and final spot.
Still pacing laps here at Martinsville. 2 to go if I had to make a guess for Caden Honeycutt. I got to assume he's going to be the favorite the rest of the night, but a couple guys coming through this field. You got Connor Horn. He started in 14th. He's made his way into the top 3. A couple other guys. You got Christian Peterson. We talked about him a little bit earlier. He's made his way into the top 10. He's in 7th. Timu Toyka's had a great night so far. He's up 14 spots. He's in 9th. So cream rising to the top. Martinsville not the easiest place to qualify at. You got to set the pace pretty quickly here, but a couple guys from the back trying to make their way to the front.
This concludes tonight's iRacing Midway Race Break with over 170,000 drivers on the service and over 90 laser scanned tracks and cars to choose from. iRacing is your portal to the racing world. Get on track today at iRacing.com. There you see the field summary. Just barely past halfway. 2 different leaders, 2 lead changes, 10 cautions already. And I thought we were on number 6. Oh boy, green flag.
It's not hard to forget how many yellows we've had here at Martinsville there, Jacob. Side by side as they go through 1 and 2. That'll be a battle between Connor Horn and Brandon Hoff. Hoff has it. Connor Horn wants it as he has that preferred lane on that inside line. Going to stagger that inside as well. Here comes Kevin King. Behind them, you got battle between Solis and Frisch. Once again, on the outside line is Frisch. A tough break for him, but they're still side by side through 1 and 2.
Frisch has some damage to the right front of that race truck, which may be a little bit of a hindrance for him. As here comes Kevin King shoving it up the inside of the 3. Brandon Hoff trying to take that 3rd spot away as the leader continues to blink out in front, and everybody else tries to settle their way through the field.
Brandon Hoff might have to concede this 3rd place position as well, and he does just that. Has to get back in line behind Kevin King here in the number 9. Next potential battle will be between him and Michael Frisch, but at the moment, he's back on the inside line. Here comes Christian Peterson trying to make it work on the outside of Jose Solis Jr. He gets a great entry on that number 7 truck. Might pay for it as behind him, here comes Will Norton trying to fill the gap on the inside.
Jose Solis Jr. almost clear off of corner number 4, but Peterson hanging in there on the outside. Not quite going away just yet. Still driving it in on the outside. Oh boy. I just heard Lucas Cram scream over the radio 3. Look back, they were 3 wide. Blake McCandless, Mitchell Hunt in that, but they're all able to keep it going, and nobody winds up making any contact. Everybody's able to survive, but it is a hornet's nest back there.
A gaggle, a wad, whatever you want to call it. There is business picking up here outside the top 20. You got Robbie Vrabel here in the back. Brandon Cattell, he just pitted. He's trying to make his way through this field. Garrett Conrath was just in that last wreck. He's in the back here as well. So a lot of action here outside the top 20, going into the top 15 as well. He's still got side-by-side battles here. Matt Forcapa is on that outside line. He's been stuck up there.
Trouble.
Last 10 laps, and they're spinning. Oh, he saves it. What a save. That was
Brandon Hawk. Hawk, I think, with the save of the night, if not the save of the year. What a great job by Brandon Hawk to hang on to that race truck, because he was dead sideways, and I thought for sure he was going to eat concrete there on the back straightaway.
Well, I just had a little bit of an appetizer there on that inside, grazed that inside pit wall, but I think he'll take it as he made what an absolutely great save. We're going to get a replay of it here. Yeah, that Coin Smart Chevrolet was pointed sideways, and like I said, a little bit of a kiss there on that left side fender on the left rear, but I think he will take it and keep on trucking here at Martinsville. Caden Honeycutt still our leader by commanding 1.1 seconds over Connor Horn. Kevin King in third, trying to battle for that as he goes to the inside.
From our angle, I thought he got some assistance in getting around, but no, just lost it, putting the power down on the exit. Here's the battle for second. Kevin King to the inside of Connor Horn. He'll take it easily and move Kevin King into the second spot in that 9 machine. Great run for him, as Jose Solis Jr. and Kristen Peterson still have not sorted this battle out for 6th.
Top 5 pretty much in their own zip code, 2nd through 5th, within about a second of each other. Behind them, an absolute war. That's going to be for 6th, 8th, 10th, and so on. You got Christian Peterson trying to make this outside line work. He's doing everything in his power to try to get around Jose on that outside line. And it looks like he might be able to pull it off. He gets a great run off of turn 4. Might be able to clear himself. Does just that. Stacks up the inside line. Nearly gets Jose wrecked by Kyle Peddle. And that's going to stack up that inside line, give Will Norton an opportunity to make spots up.
Peddle came over the radio there for a moment, not really happy with what happened.
Big wreck out of turn 3. Huge
Eddie
crash.
Kerner just got driven through. Timu Toika also involved, and the caution flag is out. Have to take a look at the replay, but it looks like Eddie Kerner got on the receiving end of a gift from the 19 of Mitchell Hunt.
Mitchell Hunt maybe just being a little bit too impatient there. He was on the newest set of tires. He had made his way from 20th all the way up to 14th.
Sending it in from back. And that's going to move Kerner to the back of the field. And Timu Toika is going to survive for another day. Got the outside wall and just kissed the side of Kerner's truck. But nothing too bad for the 30, I don't think. It's Kerner that pays the ultimate price here.
Looking at the race communication, Mitchell assumed that they were not 3 wide. He thought that Kerner cleared Toika. Obviously did not do that, and unfortunately Eddie, the victim of that circumstance, he's going to go all the way back now to 28th. Mitchell Hunt should pretty much be where he was before. So he's still on some pretty decent tires. A couple takers. He'll end up around 7th. But we got some leaders in the pits right now. You got
we've got Corey Carpenter, your race leader, is going to come in. So Kevin King is your race leader, with Chris Overland now in the 2nd spot and Timu Toika in 3rd. We've got about 10 guys that have stayed out. Everybody else came in. King and Toika are on 64 lap-old tires. Overland on 40 lap-old tires. Hunt, Conrad, Cattell, Cooley, Lee, Nasir, Carpenter, and Brady are on about 18 lap-old tires. Everybody else is on fresh Goodyears.
I think if I'm Brandon Cattell or Mitchell Hunt or Matthew Teeley, those guys, I think they're in a really good spot. They're going to be just outside the top 5, but in front of them they got some older tires, and that I think that's what Cattell was hoping for. Only 2 cautions, and there's maybe 18-20 laps on those tires, but they've been pretty much all caution flag laps, about half of them. So I think these guys that just pitted are going to be on the outside looking in. It looks like Caden's going to be 12th, and he's going to have to show that he deserves to be back up front. He's got a long way to go with 78 to go. Not a lot of laps potentially under green.
But still, heat cycle tires, they're not all that great compared to fresh tires. I didn't realize that King pitted with everybody else the last time around, how old their tires were, Toika and King. 65, 66 laps. That is incredible. Just thinking that it's been that long since they last pitted. It feels like they pitted 5 minutes ago.
With how many cautions are we're on what? I can't tell if we're on caution 11 or 15. It's just like there's a paradox going on here. All right, well, there you go.
11.
That says 11.
With King, King makes us our 3rd different leader of the night. So we get to change that graphic once more. But Kevin King and Chris Overland going to lead us down to the restart. And King on the gas. Here we go. Green flag.
Very early restart for Kevin King. They're going to be single file for first and second. First battle now will be for third. Teemu Toika on those much older tires compared to Mitchell Hunt. About 40 laps separate that. Here comes Mitchell Hunt on that outside line. Garrett Conrath going to probably have to do the same thing.
Oh, my. Corey Carpenter Caden Honeycutt is warping all over the place. He just, like, hopscotched the outside wall in turn 3. But he's still rolling on the outside line. He's the first truck on fresh tires, just trying to pave his way right now on the high side, and it's working for the time being. But I'm sure he's going to want to get to the bottom to slice and dice through this field as they get a little sideways there. Oh, boy. That was Nasir getting sideways right in front of the 6. That got scary.
Yeah, Nasir. They almost wrecked again. Hawking, I believe that was Connor Horn got into it in the back. They keep it going. But so a lot of stuff happening this year, checking up this inside line. And right now, Caden Honeycutt, they're wrecking almost again. There's so much action going on right now. Garrett Conrath and Teemu Toika almost got into it at the front. That almost brought out our 12th caution of the night. A lot of almost accidents here at Martinsville.
There is an accident. Big trouble off of turn 2. It's the 3 of Brandon Hoff that got turned around, and the caution flag is out.
I believe that might be... Oh, no.
So Brandon Hoff was the first truck that I saw sideways. He definitely had help. He got clipped by the 12 of Kenny Brady. Jose Solis Jr. barely made it through the 28, though. Did not of Ryan Lowe. He took a hefty shot, as did Robbie Vrabel. Everybody else was able to keep it off of each other. But a 4-car crash there, and Brady just says he locked it up on the bottom.
Certainly did, and that's been the culprit of a lot of yellows tonight. I'm not sure what these guys have as far as brake bias is concerned, but a lot of people are locking up that left front, and it's causing a lot of incidents. Kenny Brady is going to come into the pits to get some damage fixed, as well as Hoff and Harberts. Not really anyone coming in from the front, so we'll have to run this back again. Our leader still Kevin King with 129 laps complete.
28 might have a penalty here because he got the cone on pit exit, that green cone. We'll have to wait and see. Not entirely sure. It's possible that he got a penalty for that.
You got to do something special to get a pit exit penalty here at Martinsville. The line's right there. So that would be pretty amazing by Ryan Lowe. That's pretty impressive. Tough break for Ryan Lowe. Like I said before, former Coke Series driver trying to make his way back in through the Pro Series. Took a year off last season and decided to give it another shot this year, but not having a good efforts tonight in that 28 truck.
So Kevin King is still the race leader. Then it's Chris Overland, Mitchell Hunt, Teemu Toika, Garrett Conrath, your top 5 here at Martinsville.
Looking at the points, Garrett Conrath is going to get back to the front here. He got back in. He's in 5th now, thanks to the cycle. But obviously, he's on a little bit older tires than the people behind him. Caden Honeycutt will be lining up right behind him in 7th, so he's got to be careful with that. But he's currently on the outside looking in. He's 77th in points. So he's going to have to maintain this track position. He's someone that I've been watching all night. He's been involved in a couple accidents, but he's had a lot of pace. He's going to have to keep his efforts up front and hopefully not be a culprit or a victim of these really bizarre accidents, these one-truck accidents. No big ones tonight so far at Martinsville.
Taking a look at what's upcoming here on STN. Tomorrow night, FTF1, the season finale from Monza, the road course. Tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern. The FTF Grand National Series presented by Bar Visuals. That is at the Monza Oval on Saturday at 10 o'clock. And then the FTF Saturday Night Showdown League. Super Speedway League. It's right there in front of me. Hello. Saturday Night Super Speedway League, except it's on Fridays because, of course, it is. First round at Talladega, 9 o'clock Eastern on Friday, June 11th. Plus then 2 weeks from tonight, the last race of the first round of the eNASCAR Automotive Qualifying iRacing Series from Dover, the Monster Mile. Green flag.
Green flag back out here at Martinsville. Really bizarre restart. Kevin King warped out as soon as he hit the gas. Got a pretty good advantage. I believe he checked up just a little bit, knowing that he might have warped out there. They're going to be single file out for the first podium spots here. First, second, third, single file. First victim on that outside line is those old tires of Teemu Toika. He's now fallen outside the top 5. Teemu's still falling back. He's going to be screaming at that bottom.
Christian Peterson. Matthew Lee. Super loose, and they're going to save it. No, they saved it. I can't believe Connor Horn and Matt Forkapa are able to hang on to those race cars.
They're still through it.
Jose Solis Jr. gets turned around.
Oh, there we go.
That's going to be the caution. Oh, Harberts gets in it. Pedal got a piece of it as well. And Jose Solis Jr. brings out caution number 12.
Are you sure?
Nope.
13.
Lucky number 13. Lucky us. Let's get a replay. It all got jacked up because Matthew Lee got sideways, and then he goes up the hill, comes back down, and the 7 gets hit, I think, by Forkapa, and then it's on from there, gets tipped back up the track, and Harberts has nowhere to go.
That was an almost wreck for about a lap and a half, and they finally came to blows out of turn 2. But
yeah,
so much contact, so many different tire strategies, and something you expect, especially these guys that are in the back, in the middle of the pack. Look at Matthew Lee saving.
There's the save. And then the 2 and the 32 make contact. And then the 32 goes into the next corner, 3 wide. And the 7 thinks he's clear, comes down. And there might have been a little bit of arrow loose, if you will. But still, contact made. And around goes the 7.
He will come in for service and a little bit of damage patch there. That's a tough break for Jose. He's been up front all night. And there goes Kevin King. I'm a little bit worried about that warp. For his sake, he's been fast all night. Finally gets the lead. Not going to be happy if that warps out and he falls out of the server. But a couple of these guys have put themselves in a really good spot already. Caden Honeycutt on the newest set of tires in the top 5. He's already back up to 4th, so he's definitely got a piece tonight. Really good. I wouldn't call him a veteran, but he's definitely very savvy here at the short tracks, being, his real life experience really paying off here in the truck series for the Road to Pro qualifying series. He has made his way through the field. Started 16th 2 cautions ago. He's already up 12 spots.
I just asked our friends over at Podium about how Top Split's doing. We've almost got double the amount of cautions that they have. They have 7. We're on 13. Good grief. But when I asked, I was told too many, and I was worried what too many meant. Too many is not anywhere close to what we've got coming up right now.
Well, there's too many, which I guess is 7. What's 13? Like, that's brutal. That's otherworldly. I think they're being a little bit mean to those guys. 7's not bad for iRacing here at Martinsville. It is what it is.
So we're kind of waiting for the restart. Obviously, I'm curious what the record is at this racetrack in real life or in iRacing on cautions, because I have a feeling we may break it, especially if we hit green-white checkers. We get 3 of them here. So prepare for the worst.
Not to reference a league of my own, but I believe FTF had a league record and a bottom split record of 34 cautions here in 300 laps. Green flag is out, so they got a long way to go to catch that. Green flag is out here, and Kevin King once again puts himself out to about a 2 truck length lead.
I'd love to know what the how bottom split for this is doing right now. If they've got as many cautions as we do, maybe we'll have that info by the end of the race, or maybe they'll still be pacing as Kevin King just scoots away out in front. Chris Overland, Mitchell Hunt side by side for second.
Chris Overland holding his own very well right now in that 18 truck. Oh, Mitchell Hunt got a little bit loose. trying to pass for second. Here comes Caden Honeycutt as well. He's definitely the truck to beat. Oh, he gets all over the back of Mitchell Hunt. These guys are holding them up. And Caden thought about going 3 wide. He thought better of it, going to try and make that outside line work in 1 and 2. Oh!
Hunt caught the curb, and that kicks Overland up the hill. Here comes Caden Honeycutt. Where did he come from? He's now in P4, looking for P3. Just like to note that Kevin King is 107th in points and 189 points out. So a win tonight could seriously shuffle everything up.
Some adversity for that 18 truck. Got that Tetris piece in the back end for that snap. And this is going to be big. That's the number 5 of Will Cooley. No caution. There it is.
Yep. Cooley got turned around by Teemu Toika. And there is caution number 14.
I want to say, are you sure? But we just saw 13. So definitely a number 14. That's... I don't know if that was a result of Overland checking everything up, but we'll have to get a replay and see what happened here.
Well, it looks like... I know the flag just comes down. Cooley came down a little bit. Toika held his line. Cooley came down a little bit from the outside wall, and that's just all it took. Their wheels kind of hooked together in the back of the car, or in the back of the trucks, and that's what sent that 5 around.
Yeah, it looks like Will got a little bit behind on the exit and had to kind of turn it down. Teemu already had a nice straight exit, and like you said, they kind of just came together, and just that could have been huge. They almost wrecked in front of that wreck as well. I believe that was Christian Peterson almost got turned around towards the tail end of that wreck. That could have been really big. We've had a lot of cautions, but we've been very lucky to avoid these huge wrecks. We've had the potential to have multi-car accidents multiple times, and so far 1 to 2 car or 1 to 2 truck incidents so far tonight. A couple more people on the pits, not a lot of significance there, but it looks like we will still have Kevin King as the leader.
We will we'll just have to wait and see, as right now we are inside 60 laps to go. We're closing in on 50 laps to go. Heck yeah.
I think we might be able to. I think it's pretty much mathematically possible at this point to get done by 11. I think we'll be all right.
You want to put money down on that?
Well, let's do so. We got 50 laps to go. 44 second laps. 35 minutes left. I think that checks out.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah. I guess you're right. It doesn't take us a full minute to get around the racetrack when we're under caution. So if we stay green 18 minutes, but there is also the dreaded green-white checker. So we could go green for 50 laps and then get a caution with 3 to go and have to do it over anyway. So we'll keep it in our back pocket and see what happens here. Kevin King is your race leader, and if he were to win tonight, that would certainly shuffle the points around heading it over in 2 weeks, and we'll know what the entire point situation looks like when we get there in 2 weeks to see where people need to go. But King on the outside looking in, a win tonight would be absolutely huge for the driver of the 9 truck.
A little bit shocked to see. I haven't been paying attention too much to this series, but Kevin King is definitely someone I think about that's one of the elite drivers just over the last 20 years or so. One of the best drivers in the NR 2003 days, and the early parts of the 2010s, being a part of the Drivers' World Championship on the oval side. So I'm a little bit shocked to see him that far back in the points, but he's definitely showing his talent and his worth tonight as he leads our pace field to the green.
Here we go. Kevin King hard on the gas. Green flag back in the air. Honeycutt and Conrad side by side for second. Looks like Honeycutt will get there. He's going to try and go all the way for the lead. But King shuts the door, and thankfully they do not make contact as they come off 2.
Looks like King might be on borrowed time in that lead, and he's going to give it up. This is a really smart veteran move by Kevin King. Gets right back down to that inside line, and he's going to be able to live to fight another day behind Honeycutt. Honeycutt, our new leader once again, takes over back to the lead. Here comes Garrett Conrad. That gets a little bit of contact.
And Frisch gets jacked up. They're 5 wide.
They're 4 wide in the back. Here comes Connor Horn. Horkapa's in there.
4 wide, and they made it work.
How did they make this work? They're still trying to wreck here in the back.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to make it much longer. Eddie Kerner back here in the mess of this. Oh, and there they go. Pfeiffer up the hill into the wall thanks to Umar Diallo. Blake McCandless
right in front of the
and Pfeiffer
field.
back around the track.
Oh.
Matthew Lee involved, and there is the caution.
Nowhere to go for Matthew T. Lee.
Christopher Pfeiffer got sent around and around and around, and the caution flag is out.
Well, it was only a matter of time there, Jacob. I think we both were pretty shocked. That's almost the same
15.
thing. It's almost the same thing that happened last time. You know, a lot of 3 wide, a lot of contact, and unfortunately for Pfeiffer, just got hit that outside wall, and we don't know what happened to that truck. Might have gotten some suspension damage and just lost it off that safer barrier. And unfortunately for Matthew T. Lee, just had nowhere to go. He's had an up and down event, and right now he's in one of those valleys of the peaks. So he's going to have to start all over and make his way through the field. Right
here, there goes Frisch sideways, the 14 down to the wall. Here's McCandless. They're 4 wide. I thought they got to 5 wide at one point. And here comes the 16 around the outside. You got Diallo in the middle, 3 wide. And I think it's going to be Diallo that makes the contact. Yeah, he just sent it in way too hard and gets into Pfeiffer. Up the hill he goes, and probably Pfeiffer just trying to get it off the safer barrier, lost it from there. Back down the racetrack, and in comes Matthew Lee straight into the driver's door.
And you know, we haven't really talked about Chris Pfeiffer tonight. He's had a really quiet race, and that just goes to show, you know, you might be, you know, minding your own P's and Q's, you know, racing your own race, and all it takes is just someone being a little bit too aggressive, and now you're in someone else's mess. So he's going to be way back in the pack. He's going to be, I believe, 27th or 28th once this cycles out. It looks like Michael Frisch was on the pits as well. I didn't expect him to come in. This might be his final pit stop of the evening. We'll have to see how that cycles out, but we'll have to keep an eye on these guys that just pitted. We have 56 laps to go this time by? Yeah, 56 laps to go.
So just to note, because I just happened to have Blake McCandless stream up, and somebody asked in chat, is 17x the max for this race? No. You hit 17x, and you get a penalty. You hit 25x, and you get disqualified and punted from the server. ATVO does not give us that information as to how many people have X's and how many people don't. So we really don't know how that looks. We'll get that once this thing's said and done. But, yeah.
Hearing from production, Frisch's pit stop was pretty long, 30 seconds, so he might have just been fixing. I don't know.
He definitely had damage, because I think he did bounce off of somebody. Plus, he already had damage on the right front of the car, or on the right front of the truck, from earlier on in the night, and he's been carrying that damage around with him for a long time. So I'm not too surprised that he was in his pit box for a decent amount of time there to try and clean it up a bit.
Yeah, he's back in the pits again. So yeah, he's definitely sustained a pretty significant amount of damage. Matthew T. Lee speeding his way through the corner in the pits. He's in there as well. Jose Solis Jr. He's had a rough second half of the event. He's also back in.
So here we go, getting ready for the restart. And sorry, Zach, I know we said we'd go side by side for the next caution, and this was the next caution, but we'll
have another one. You're good.
Yeah, we'll give it time here as Honeycutt and King lead us around through 3 and 4. I'm sure Honeycutt's going to be on the gas early, and there he goes, green flag.
Eric Conrath on that inside line. Kevin King's going to have to go back to that inside as quickly as he can. Almost pull what Brandon Cattell did, just run that defensive line down the straightaway. He's going to do just that. Here comes Christian Peterson. He's the only truck tonight that has been able to make that outside line work, and he might be able to do it just once again here going for third.
Caution is out. Trouble in the turn 4. Matthew Lee is around, I think, for the 4th time tonight.
By himself.
And yeah, all by his lonesome. The invisible boatmobile, I guess, turned him, but now he just got loose getting into turn 3 and lost it on his own. So that gives us a platform here. Thank you, Matthew. Let's go side by side here for Martinsville, and we'll get back and reset for a restart. Caden Honeycutt, your leader. Okay, we'll show a replay. Now you see him. Now you don't. Oh no, he hit the gas and kept it off the wall. You're watching Road to Pro on iRacing or iPacing. This is caution number 16, but nonetheless, Caden Honeycutt is your race leader. We're going to go side by side here, and we will be back hopefully with the remainder of this thing. We've got 40 laps to go here from Martinsville. We're back after this.
We've been waiting for this moment. Generations of innovation all coming together in one place. A pedigree of more than 70 years of NASCAR Cup Series history, from the past to the present, from Petty to Earnhardt to Elliott. Today, there's no more waiting. The future of NASCAR is now. Drive the next-gen cars today on iRacing and step into the next generation of racing.
Coming to 37 laps to go, we are under our 16th caution flag of the night. Almost half of this race has been under caution. At this point, we've had 3 leaders and 4 lead changes. That guy leading right now, Caden Honeycutt, has led the most laps tonight. As we are doubled up for the restart, Jacob Pitts, Kevin McAdams here with you for the call. Zach Johnson, our producer. We're in the final 40 laps. Do we think we're going to be able to make it 5 laps with a green flag run?
No.
That's really all I needed to hear. Here we go. Honeycutt leads us around on the gas. Green flag.
I'd like to be wrong, but I don't see that happening, especially later on in this race. There's going to be a lot more aggressiveness. As I say that, Kevin King gets into the side and slams that number 8 truck of Christian Peterson. That'll be for third. They're about to go 3 wide. Connor Horner thinks about it, thinks better of it, and he checks up, nearly locks up his right front tire. And that's going to stack up the field. They're 3 wide again in 4.
They're able to hang on as Peterson got a little sideways in turn 4. He hangs on to the truck. Cattell back there. Timu Toika goes a little wide in turn 2, able to hang on to it. Almost ping-pongs off of Justin Nasir on the inside of him. But they're all able to hang on for the time being as Caden Honeycutt has a half-second lead on Garrett Conrath already. Honeycutt is on fresher tires than Conrath, and King's tires are more than 100 laps old at this point.
Great recovery by Lance Nasir. He has been all over the place.
Yeah. From crashing before we got the green flag to running up inside the top 10 in 6th. A good comeback for him.
I don't have all my resources here, Jacob. Is Timu, they're about to wreck in the back, but is Timu still on those old tires? Or did he come in and pit?
Yes.
Oh, my
God. On those ancient tires.
That's insane. He's done a really good job. He's still in 8th. That's pretty impressive for that number 30 truck. He's done a really good job to maintain that. But I think they listen to you, Jacob. I think we're going to get 5 laps because they're all single file right now through the front. 5 laps and probably nothing more at this point. As Honeycutt continues to lead, he's pulling away from Conrath little by little. He's about a 10th a lap faster. Kevin King right now hanging on for dear life as Toika slides up the hill. Here comes Lucas Cram to the inside. lap truck of Matthew T. Lee right in the middle of this battle for about 16th, 18th. Might have to look at that later on, but for right now, things starting to settle out at the front. First battle for position. Looks like Timu finally has been relegated to that outside line. Here comes Lucas Cram underneath. That'll be for 7th, or sorry, that is for 8th. Here comes Will Norton. He's had a quiet night. He will now be just inside the top 10. And here comes Omar Diallo. What a recovery from him. He's going to be looking for a top 10 position right now.
Kevin King has not left the back bumper of Garrett Conrath since the restart. And King, his tires, caution. Won't even get to finish that thought. Jacob Harbert's around in turn 2. I believe that's his third caution flag of the night.
He's definitely been involved in a...
And he made contact here with the 4 of Caden Honeycutt. They made contact, and yeah, there you see. In the wall, and the 4 came back down and turned the 25 when they get to turn 1. Watch here. 4 straightens it out. Comes back down the racetrack.
Oh.
Tires are still spinning. It catches the 25 and into the outside wall. So that is caution number 17 inside 30 laps to go.
I don't want to make any accusation here, but that's just short track racing, I guess. That's all I'm going to say. Yep. That's the second or third time I've seen Carpenter, whether it's inadvertent or not. That's been a few times now that he's inadvertently, pinched somebody and it's caused an accident. Now, I would. It's tough to say because it looks like Harbert's was about a half truck width off the wall, but that's. I don't know why he would be upset like that. I don't know. That was interesting to say the least.
Yeah. So here we are. I said that we were wrecking for 25th, and Evan Pasoko over at Podium responds with, "At least we wreck for 22nd." You can see how high we set the bar here with the top 2 splits. As right now, Kevin King and Timu Toika are still staying out there. They can only make it about 125 to 135 laps on a tank of fuel. So these guys are pushing it. It's going to be close to make it to the. It's going to be close to make it to the end. They've had a million caution laps, but it's going to be tight for them to make it to the end on fuel. And King has only pitted, same with Toika, once. They've got four sets of tires sitting in the pits that they just haven't used. Brandon Cattell, he's pitted 5 times.
Yeah, different strategies. I'm curious to see how much Justin Nasir has pitted. He's been all over the place. I'm sure there's someone in this field that has pitted in the double digits that's still out there, but it just goes to show just how important track position really is. Caden's been up front the whole time, and even though he got relegated to the back, he had so much newer tires. He made his way through the field rather quickly. But then on the other side of the coin, Kevin King, he's on a little bit of a different strategy in terms of tires, but he was also up front. So regardless of strategy, the people that are up front are still up front regardless of strategy. It's pretty interesting to see how that's all panned out so far.
Half a lap to green. We'll have 23 to go on the restart. Ryan Lowe says that he is down on power. So, he's only at 900 RPM when he puts the clutch in instead of 1,000. So, he's in trouble. Meanwhile, Caden Honeycutt leads us down, green flag.
Said this about 6 times already, but he's had another great restart. They're stacking it up right behind them. First battle for position going to be between Kevin King and once again that number 8 truck.
Oh boy.
Making that outside line work. They're stacking it up behind Brandon Cattell. Cattell gets a little bit tight. Gets hit by number 2 of Connor Horn, and they're going to be 2 by 2 by 2, pacing here around at 100 miles an hour here at Martinsville.
Cattell didn't get tight. He got a tap in the rear end from Connor Horn, booting him up out of the way. And that's going to open up the floodgates as here comes everybody else. The 14, Lucas Crander to the inside. Will Norton got by. Omar Diallo is on deck here to get by. It's just a freight train around Brandon Cattell right now as we are 21 laps away from finishing this thing. potentially. Remember, we still do have 3 green white checkers if we need them, but Caden Honeycutt, just like every other restart tonight, he gone.
Graham crowds that number 33 truck into turn 3, nearly gets into the side of him. Cattell battling at, honestly, the best he can, trying to maintain these track position. And oh man, here comes Omar Diallo. I'm just feeling really bad for Cattell. He's a friend of mine. I hate to say it, but yeah, I want him to succeed in this race so he can get in that top 70. He's going to have a tough break being on this outside.
And the spots just keep coming and coming and coming. As here comes Eddie Kerner to the inside. Just heard him say, come over the radio and say he hates this track. Well, right now, I'm sure he's having a lot of fun getting passed by 6 trucks in a row. Here comes the 19 Mitchell Hunt looking to the inside, trying to crack the door open. He's there. Timu Toika behind him as well. But Kevin King is doing the best job I've ever seen for a guy that's been driving on tires since Eisenhower was president right now. In the 3rd spot, he's still hanging on for dear life.
A little bit of a development. Kenny Brady had to pit. I believe he might have had to pit for a incident limit because he's now a lap down. So that's a shame for the number 12 truck. Back to the front. Things finally starting to calm down. Like you said, Kevin King doing a well of a job. He's still in 3rd, but these guys are fighting outside. They're on 8th, 9th. They're going to be 3 wide. Oh, and that's going to be tight.
Squeeze. Lucas Cram putting the squeeze on Omar Diallo. Can't quite hold it there on the high side. Gets a good run down the straightaway, but Diallo has that preferred line on the inside, puts the power down, and he has got the spot P8 off the corner. Here comes Cram looking for a crossover. Diallo shuts the door.
Big gaggle for position, and despite all of this, still green here at Martinsville Speedway. Current battle for position. Brendan Cattell still trying to maintain and try to finally get to that inside line, and he's going to secure that right in front of Matt Forka, but he'll be in 13th as it all settles out. That's a tough break for Brandon, but he's going to finally let the bleeding stop. Oh, Chris Overland nearly gets spun. Kyle Peddle threw it in underneath him. That was for the number 17, or sorry, the number 15 position. That was really close to our, 19th caution of the night? I can't keep track anymore.
That would have been caught 18, but at this point, who's counting? As here comes everybody else trying to get by the 17, just trying to make it here to the end without a caution or something. As Overland almost made contact again with Plot on the outside, Pedal on the inside. The 10 just blew up.
Yep.
Ben Nelson was already multiple laps down. He's on pit road now without an engine, so any shot he had left is done, closing in on 10 laps to go.
Dare I say it, but I think Kevin King wants second. He's all over the back of Eric Conrath. He is putting that chrome horn to good use. Coming to 11 laps to go. He wants more of those points. He's got a long ladder to climb to get back into that top 70, but every point counts here.
And we are crashing for 17th place. Will Cooley just got turned in turn 4. Caution number 17 with 11 laps to go.
I thought you said it was caution 18. You lied to me.
Oh, I thought I said 17. 17? 18?
Too many.
Zach?
Put it up. Put up the graphic.
Oh, it is 18. Okay, sure enough.
Right.
Sure enough. Good grief. All right. I mean, here's the replay. You see, he gets washed up the hill. And Kenny Brady to the inside, and Brady got a shot from the 31, and that sent Brady up the hill, and just Cooley was trying to give him enough room. Unfortunately, he didn't give him the whole track, as he just even Brady says, sorry, I can't do anything when Seth Noel in the 31 drives through me like that. And that's what happened to bring out this 18th caution flag. And I'm going on record here and saying if we somehow get 4 more cautions, I'm calling it a new track record just because of the fact that 22 cautions happened in the 2005 Coke 600 for NASCAR. Technically, this is a NASCAR event. I'm going all in here. We break 22. That is a new record.
Are these classified as NASCAR sanctioned events? Is that
NASCAR's in the title, so I'm going with it.
Let's go with it. I don't mind that.
Unless I get proven otherwise.
You would have to. I think the only thing we can do is technically tie it because the green white checkers, that would give us 1, 2, at least 3. We'd be at 21 at the very least.
We could still have a caution, though, on that third green-white checker.
That's
iRacing
true.
could still throw it to get us to 23. It is possible.
You're not wrong.
Let me racing reference real fast the highest amount of cautions here at Martinsville, because we may have already broken
I believe
it.
it's 19.
In that case, we're 1 away from tying it. Let's see here. Martinsville Speedway.
21.
No idea where I'm going to find this. 21 is the record? Oh, boy.
In the Goodies Fast Relief 500 in 2007.
Holy cow, really?
Sure enough.
21 in 2007. Wow. And somehow nobody else has hit that since.
No, we just get planned cautions instead. Cool.
The fall. So the fall race, the chase race in 2007. I don't remember a darn thing about that race. If it's the spring race, that was when Johnson and Gordon were side by side coming to the line. But the fall race, I got nothing, especially in 2007. Forget about it.
I think Jake Poulin made a remark in the Twitch chat. I believe he's right about, if we're referring to overall, I believe the 06 GNS race had 25. I have to double check that, but I believe he's correct on that.
Oh gosh, at Martinsville.
I think over 250 laps there were 25 cautions. I think
2006. 19 cautions at Martinsville in 2006.
Oh, Memphis 2007 had the most. Okay.
All right, here we go. 5 laps are on the board. If we get a caution, we're going to overtime. Green flag.
Benjamin, if you've heard me say this before, Caden Honeycutt gets a great restart. Garrett Conrath clinging on to dear life for that second place position. Right in front of him, or right behind him, is Kevin King. Battle for 4th. Going to be between Christian Peterson and Connor Horn. Another huge gaggle behind them. Nasir, Diallo, Bram, Kerner, Hunt, and Toyka under a blanket out of turn 4.
Just scrolling through the field to make sure nobody dies. But right now, Kevin King, I gotta wonder if he maybe burned his stuff up trying to get by Conrath. Big crash, turn 2. 1 car on its side. Caution is out. Brandon Hoff is junk. Will Cooley is junk. Overtime it is. Crashing for 25th.
Frustration's really.
And let's see. Will Cooley. Oh no, he didn't quite drive through. He certainly. Netcode there. Sorry, the arrow loose got Will Cooley there.
That might have been also.
That might have been an intentional crash there.
There might have been some direct contact between him and Ryan Lowe. I think Ryan was the one that triggered that first. It might have been tie goes to the wrecker, but I believe that was simultaneous shots between Ryan Lowe and Will Cooley to Brandon Hoff. Hoff had no chance, and we're getting a green-white checker.
Yeah, like I said, if we got a caution, we were getting a green-white checker, and I think the 5 just. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. And then, of course, arrow loose is what got the 5 up into the outside wall. If we can get it on board with the 5, maybe just to hear the throttle or something.
I don't know, man.
Hear his inputs.
I think Ryan hit him. It doesn't matter. Hoff is wrecked. He's in the pits. He's got towed. But yeah. I do think Ryan was initially. We'll get a good shot of it here.
Yeah.
We'll be able to see who gets there first, the 5 or the 28. 28's on the inside, 5 on the outside. Going through 3 and 4. The wreck is in 1 and 2.
Yep.
Shout out Dead Zone Racing. That's tight.
You're right. I think you're right. I think that might have been the truck on the inside. Looking at that. Yeah, that definitely looks like it was the 28 that got the 3 sideways and not the 5. So good call there, Kevin.
Regardless, I'm sure for about 20 of these guys, it's been pretty frustrating. It just seems like the same 8 to 10 guys have been involved in every caution. And, hopefully we don't have to use all three, but we do get 3 attempts at the green-white checkered. Hopefully Caden can get to the white flag before they wreck, but we've had instances tonight at least twice where we haven't gotten back to the green flag to even stop wrecking. So we'll see how this works out, but hopefully for these guys and for us, we'll be able to go home soon.
Well, we'll see what happens. We should get the 1 to green here this time by. I'm going to hold any upcoming things until the last overtime because I paid the price last time I did this with Four Corner Racing League, so I'm saving it till the last restart. So if we don't get to it, you'll see it at the end. I'm not doing it now because that's just going to jinx us for the rest of the night. So we are just about half a lap away from green. It's Caden Honeycutt, Garrett Conrath, Kevin King on Ancient Tires, Christian Peterson, Connor Horn, the top 5. And then Will Norton, Justin Nasir, Omar Diallo, Lucas Cram, Eddie Kerner, your top 10. Pace car is in. They just have to make it 1 lap, and this thing's official. If they crash before that, we do it all over again. Caden Honeycutt's on the gas, green flag. 2 to go.
2 to go at the line. Another textbook restart by Honeycutt. Garrett Conrath will secure second for right now. Battle for third going to be between King and Peterson. That's the battle we're going to focus on for right now. Behind them as well, here comes Connor Horn and Will Norton through 3 and 4. Can they make it through?
Just got to make it to the line. Here they come. Honeycutt got sideways, and he takes the white flag. We made it. They're crashing on the front straightaway. Timu Toika, Brennan Cattell, they saved it as they go back through 1 and 2, but it's all Caden Honeycutt through 3 and 4. Coming around to the checkered flag. Caden Honeycutt looking for the win here in Martinsville. Nobody else is going to get to him. Christian Peterson gets used up behind him, and Caden Honeycutt's going to win at Martinsville in an incredible race. Like 19 cautions, big crash parking lot. Timu Toika got space forced on the front straightaway because people are just flooring it into the crash. Christian Peterson got manhandled from 4th to 7th coming off the corner. And it's Caden Honeycutt picking up the win for the first round of the eNASCAR Road to Pro Qualifying iRacing Series.
10:54 p.m., by the way, we made it.
We did make it. Somehow, we made it. So, Caden Honeycutt with the win, looking for him in points right now, just to see coming into tonight.
I think he's solidly
32nd, 274 points to the good. His first win on the season for the driver of the 6. He started on pole. He finishes in P1 tonight.
Good finish for Garrett Conrath as well. He's on the outside looking in as it stands. He's in 78. That's going to be a great, 77. That's going to be a great result for the number 13 machine. And Kevin King, he's got some work to do next week at Dover as well. We'll have to see how this pans out. But
that still helps. Third place definitely helps from the spot that he's at right now.
For sure.
Caden Honeycutt continues to burn down the house. Let's go through the unofficial results. Caden Honeycutt, your winner. Garrett Conrath in the 2nd spot. Kevin King in P3. Connor Horn 4th. Will Norton in 5th. Justin Nasir 6th. Christian Peterson 7th. Omar Diallo in 8th. Lucas Cram 9th. And Eddie Kerner rounds out the top 10.
Up and down night for a lot of these guys outside the top 10. Mitchell Hunt will finish in 11th. Chris Overland will finish in the 12th position. Blake McCandless, didn't talk about him at all tonight. Talked about him having to be quiet and just make his way through the field. He ended up 13th. Timu Toika on those Ancient Tires will finish in 14th. Kyle Peddle 15th. Brandon Cattell struggles at the end. He will finish in 16th. Mac Forkapa finishes in the 17th position. Started up front, finishing 18th is Michael Frisch. Seth Noel in 19th, and Corey Carpenter, the ping pong truck all night, will finish in 20th.
Robbie Vrabel Jr. needed a great night. He finishes 21st. Jose Solis Jr. 22nd. Christopher Pfeiffer 23rd. Jacob Harberts, he had a long night. He finishes in the 24th position. 25th belongs to Ryan Lowe. 26th, Brandon Hawk. 27th, Will Cooley. 28th, Kenny Brady, 1 lap down, as well as Kason Plott. 29th, Brandon Hoff, 7 laps down in the 3 machine. A really rough night for him. Matthew Lee, 31st, 19 laps down. Ben Nelson, 32nd. The engine blew with 21 to go, about 21 to go. PJ Evans, 33rd, only made it 30 laps tonight. before he abandoned his race truck. We do have some folks to talk to, and let us start with race winner, Caden Honeycutt. Caden, congratulations on the win, your first win on the season. You definitely had the fastest truck all night, but I'm sure you didn't have a lot of fun behind the iRacing pace car all that much tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a caution-filled race. Unfortunately, I thought we were going to have a really clean race. Last year in Top Split, we only had 2 cautions, so I was really expecting the second split to be pretty clean. I think with things dialing down, I think it just didn't add the right racers in the right split. I think that's what kind of jumbled things up. But nonetheless, it was still a really good truck. I think it was going to be capable to win anyway. I'm glad my teammate Garrett finished second. He really needed it. Very happy for everybody. That's I think a couple people locked in tonight on our team. So I think we're going to be pretty close being locked in after this race. So it was a good race overall. Just a little caution-filled race.
And before we send you on your way to celebrate the win here at Martinsville, anybody want to thank, say hi to?
Thank you, Rod at Raceface Brand Development for all the work he helps with me in real life. Thank you to everybody at Team Nexus, Tucker Mentor, and Dave for the awesome set. Appreciate their hard work every week. Hopefully we get a car steward win this weekend here at Langley. Appreciate everybody at the car steward watching tonight on my team, my friends, family. Thank you all for watching, and thank God we got our first ever Road to Pro win, and we're going to carry this and hopefully to Dover and try to win there as well.
Well, best of luck at Dover in 2 weeks, and congratulations on the win tonight. Certainly helps with the fight to stay in that top 70 in points. We will see you potentially. We'll see what split you wind up in 2 weeks at Dover.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Race winner, Caden Honeycutt, driver of the 6 Toyota. And let's talk to second place, Garrett Conrath. He is with Kevin McAdams.
Got Garrett Conrath finishes second. Quick little thank you to Blake McCandless. Thank you for the raid. Congratulations on your 13th place finish tonight. Garrett, you were running up front pretty much all night, minus that little bit of an incident in turn 2 around lap 80. Tell us about your truck, man. You had a really fast piece.
Yeah, that thing was amazingly fast. I can't thank Tucker Minter and Dave Walsh enough. They put in so many hours on the setup. Yeah, just unfortunate thing with Chris there early on, but made my way back up a little bit through strategy too. And big thanks to Kevin King too at the end. He was playing patient with me. We were both just kind of riding and got good finishes.
Yeah, we remarked a little bit about halfway through the race. You were, according to our calculations, on the outside looking in. On the points, without a drop, you were 77th in points. Tell us about your approach going into the race tonight and knowing that you had to have a really good finish here. Basically a wild card event.
Yeah, this is one of my best tracks, probably my second or third best track, so I knew I could get a good finish out of it. I just wanted a top 10 would put me in a good position going into Dover, but second place definitely helps an absolute ton going into Dover.
Well, Garrett, the floor is yours. Who do you want to thank for tonight?
Nexus Esports, Tucker Minter, Dave Walsh, like I said, on the setup, they put in ridiculous amount of hours. I can't thank the work they do enough, and yeah.
All right, man. I'll probably see you Sunday at FTF, but good luck the next couple of weeks here at Dover in the Road to Pro Series.
Thank you.
There you have it, Garrett Conrath, second place finisher here tonight from Martinsville Speedway. Final thoughts here, Kevin.
A lot of cautions, but are we really surprised? Not really. I mean, I think the right guy won. Caden had the truck tonight to beat, and thankfully, not a lot of calamity at the front. I think the people who deserve to be in the top 5 are in the top 5. Couple stragglers here and there that may have had some tough breaks. Michael Frisch comes to mind, finishing 18th. He's got a lot of work to do going into Dover, but I think this sets up for a really fun battle to watch for the points next week.
Next year, 2 weeks, but hey, at this point in the night, after getting through that race, I'm just glad it's over. Upcoming tomorrow night, FTF1, the season finale from Monza, the road course, tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern. Myself, Justin Prince, will be here with you for the call. FTF Grand National Series presented by Bar Visuals. That's round 17 from the Monza Oval. Saturday at 10 o'clock, and then the FTF Saturday night Super Speedway League, except it's on Friday, presented by STN. Round 1, Talladega, next Friday, June 11th, 9 o'clock. In 2 weeks, we are back with the first round of the eNASCAR Road to Pro Qualifying iRacing Series, the last race of the season, from Dover, Delaware. Hope you join us then and for the rest of our broadcast coming up. For Kevin McAdams here with me in the booth, Zach Johnson, our producer, I'm Jacob Pitts. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you tomorrow night for FTF1, and with this series in 2 weeks from Dover, Caden Honeycutt, your winner for Martinsville tonight. Thanks, and good night.